Good morning and welcome. Good morning, good evening. Good evening and welcome to the channel. This is Destination Scratch. This is episode 10 and today we are going to talk about my feet. For anybody who's just literally caught the opening sentence of this video, it's not quite as exciting as it sounds. Before we get going, remember to hit that subscribe button, like this video and comment below. All comments really help push the video and help the channel progress. I like this particular series because rather than just being about, say, a club review or a course vlog, it allows me to go slightly into a more personal level. And this channel, I didn't want it just to be golf, I wanted it to be a bit of lifestyle and just sort of show different aspects of my particular life. It's the main reason I didn't call it Leicester Bernie Barnes Golf or Bernie Golf. It was because I wanted to have a little bit more flavour, a little bit of extra to the videos, and I wanted you to get to know me on a more personal level. I think I've said it before as well, I use this time that we're sharing now as almost like a little bit of therapy. You can get little bits and pieces off your chest that you want to talk about, and they do say it's good to talk, and I not just see you guys and girls at home as subscribers, but you also sort of, quite a few of you are personal friends of mine, and I do value everyone's opinion, whether that's positive or negative or indifferent. And it's just, I think sometimes it's important just to let you know like sort of what's going on and like I said, different aspects of my life that you might want to know a little bit more about, and you might not. Oops, a bit high. Just dip it a little bit. Back to the subject matter and the reason that we're actually making this particular vlog, and hopefully the reason that you're watching it, is we're talking about my feet. I'll give you a little bit of background information. I'm quite an active person. I play a lot of sport, play a lot of football. During lockdown I was doing quite a lot of running and fitness. There wasn't really a lot for me to do, so I really got back into that, and I came out of lockdown sort of in my approaching my 40th birthday in quite a good physical fitness position, and it was probably the fittest I'd actually been. I was running between 6 and 7 miles sort of 4 or 5 times a week. I was doing quite a lot of stretching. I was doing some free weights as well. Nothing too heavy, but I felt good. I felt as good as I'd ever felt. And lockdown for me was quite a positive experience fitness wise. These sort of niggles and pains started to progress. At the time my dad was still alive, and he used to suffer with some gout, and I know that it can be hereditary. And sort of early January time, my dad passed away unfortunately in March. I had a couple of days where I couldn't even put any weight down it was on my left foot, and I was sort of limping around. I played golf with Harry one of the days, and I played like 6-7 holes. I was like, Harry, I can hardly walk, and he was like, have you twisted your ankle? You know, have you been kicked at football? Someone stood on your foot? And I couldn't recall any of that. But actually putting pressure on my foot and even walking, I was sort of limping around. And by the following morning, I couldn't even like put any pressure or any weight on my left foot at all. Oh, it needs to be dipped a bit. Dip it a little bit. I don't really know what's in the background. It could be a bit messy in places. I haven't quite finished this flat yet. That's another sort of winter project really. I've moved back here now sort of permanently, so I'm just going to finish it off. Yeah, so my dad suggested that I might have gout, so I just, as you do, you can't be bothered, but you feel like you shouldn't bother the doctors with sort of minor inconvenience, I guess, when there's people that need to go to doctors. And after lockdown, obviously there was a lot of people with health issues. People couldn't get their cancer seen to, and they had issues which, as we know, the NHS was really struggling with the back of COVID, and then coping with other issues and other illnesses that people had, so I just didn't really get to doctors. Dad gave me some gout tablets. I took some gout tablets. I know it's stupid, and now looking back at it, it seems even more ridiculous, but I took these tablets and it seemed to pass within sort of 3 or 4 days. I went from not being able to put any pressure on my foot to back to walking what I'd call normally. So I just presumed that it was obviously gout, and I had a couple more, like I'd call it attacks, during the next 3 or 4 months, and even after my dad passed away. So I was just taking his gout tablets, and like I said, it seemed to be sort of relieving the problem. And I ran out of the tablets sort of end of that summer, which I would think would be like 2021 into 2022. I phoned my GP and spoke to a doctor and said, look, I need some more gout tablets. The gout's playing up again. And the lady informed me that you can't really self-diagnose, which I was aware of, and I need to come down to the surgery to be checked over, so have a look at it. And so I went down there, limped down there, struggled to get down there actually, drove down and then limped in, and she examined my foot and she was like, look, it can't be gout. From where you're experiencing the pain, it's not a particular place where gout will be. Gout tends to sort of be right on the far extremes of like your foot, your hand, in joints, and I was getting a bit of pain. It was more on top of the foot. There was a lot of swelling, no bruising, just swelling. And so she suggested that I had to go to the hospital, which she booked me an appointment to go and have some x-rays. At this stage, it was just my left foot that was causing me a few issues. And if you look back at some of the vlogs when I was on downtown, you can probably see that I wasn't quite turning onto my left side. I was almost like protecting my left foot. And you don't notice things at the time. It's only when you look back and you see a little bit of old footage that I just wasn't. I wasn't swinging it as fast as I had previously, and like I said, I wasn't turning onto my left side and sort of clearing that right hip through. Just gone off the subject a little bit there, and I do that. Because I try and talk on these ones and get it flowing and not stop and not plan it. It's literally just ad hoc. It's just how it comes out. But anyway, back to the hospital. They had the x-rays on both of my feet at the hospital, and I waited a couple of weeks, got my results back, and they were like, you've got arthritis in both your feet. Guess I still feel I'm quite young, and young at heart, I guess. I know age-wise I'm not now. But I think that arthritis is something that old people suffer with, and I was quite surprised that quite a lot of young people do suffer, or younger people suffer with it, and it's not an age-related thing. The arthritis I've got is the one where it's overuse, it's degenerate. It's like a degenerative thing. Is that right? Degenerative? Say it? Yeah, I think so. From playing years and years of sport, but it could be managed. It's not the worst thing I can have. And I know there's people that are playing golf and struggling with their golf who are in a far worse position than me, but it does play up from time to time. And if I play too many continuous days, I can feel it coming, which is good, but it does come from absolutely nowhere. And so I'm having to manage it a little bit more now. I'm still trying to play as much golf as possible, but I'm having to make, when I do practice, if I go to the driving range, hit some balls, or the practice at Churston, I'm having to make those sessions shorter than what I'd want to. I know it can sound like an excuse, and it probably is a bit of an excuse, because there's still things I can do. I can still chip and putt, which I've been doing, but actually hammering balls when I was in my 20s for sort of 3-4 hours at a time, it's just really not possible currently. So the first question is, does anybody else, obviously they do, but do any of you people watching or know anybody who suffers from arthritis, and how have they managed that? So what have you done to manage that? Do you take any supplements? I've just started, I do CBD, like low dosage levels in gummies you can buy I get them from Holland and Barrett, so I take one in the morning every single morning. I have done for the last 18 months, and that seems to have helped. I do increase the dosage if I do get levels of pain. I have to play golf. Sometimes you have to play You don't really get a choice if it's a match or, you know, playing for the club as well. I don't try not to let them down as much as possible. I take cod liver oil as well. My mum swears by cod liver oil, and I also take turmeric. I think I've said it right. I do sometimes pronounce it wrong, but I take that. I take 2 of them every single day. That does seem to help, and the last sort of year or so I've managed it a lot better, and my feet feeling now better now than they did sort of a couple of years ago, which is positive. I'll sit there. I was a bit pissed. I also do quite a lot of stretching in my lower legs. My calves are quite tight all the time. I think that's from years of playing football and golf. So I try to stretch them out regularly, and I do a lot more stretching than I previously do. I don't lift any weights at the moment, so it's just a purely stretching. But again, has anybody got any secret remedies? I guess I'm asking, and whether there's anything they can suggest that I could do to make it even better than it is now. I have sort of given up playing football. I've not even been pre-season this year, which it's quite hard because I've done it since I was sort of on and off since I was like 11, 12 years old, and I find it hard to admit that I'm getting older, not give up totally. I've stayed signed on because I don't want to end that chapter of my life yet. I don't feel ready for that, but I'm gonna. Last season I probably played a dozen games. This season it might even be less, and I've just stayed signed on to the team I play for and just said, look, if you're short, I'll play. I do want to do some fitness. I'm just concerned about weight. I tend to overeat. I always have done. I love my food. Eat healthily, but eat a lot, and the quantity is probably too much at times. So I'm having to eat less, which is taking a bit of adjusting to as well. But I'm going to do some other exercises. I'm quite competitive, so I like playing competitive sport. That's what I've always considered an exercise. And even when I went running, I was trying to beat previous times, trying to run further than I had. And I know things like swimming's very good, and I will try and get into swimming. It's not something I'm particularly good at, so it might be something that I can sort of get my teeth into and go swimming, which I know puts less pressure on certain areas of your body, certain joints. Guess I'm seeing this as well as like a bit of a positive step. So obviously the arthritis, having arthritis is not ideal, but if I'm playing less football and other sports, it means I can dedicate maybe more time to playing golf, and hopefully in turn that will mean that I will, you know, get to a better level or become a better golfer than I currently am. So since the last video, which was the one I did at Torquay, where I played a round of golf and recorded it, my handicap has actually come down fractionally. I was 4.1 on that video, I'm down to 3.8, so I've come down 0.3. It's not loads, obviously, it's a step in the right direction, but it's nowhere near to scratch golf, and my golf at the moment is not at that level that I'm really going to be progressing it downwards. It's more a case of really sort of maintaining it for the rest of the year, I presume, and hopefully giving this series another crack next year and trying to get back to scratch. But obviously as the years progress it becomes harder and harder. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope I haven't bored you too much. Probably have. Again, I know this video won't appeal to everybody, but hopefully there's enough people that are enjoying the honesty and the personal touch that this series is providing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, hit that subscribe button, like this video and comment below. Appreciate all the kind words, all the support, and any advice you want to give me, then please stick it in the comments. Did you actually hear that click when I stood up? That surely is not good. Don't get old.